people? Today we are doing an impromptu video, same day. So today we're filming it and uploading it on the Sunday, and what I want to do is talk about this funny experience I had when I was younger, or at least a moment when I was super humbled within the gym when I was a newbie. It was back when I was new into lifting and thought I was kind of hench, even though I wasn't. This is like 3 months in, fairly young. This is even before I even got into gym consistently. This is still when I used to like go for like 2 weeks, quit, start for another 2-3 weeks, quit, and I saw a little bit of progress, and I took that to my brain and my ego went a bit big. By the way, before I even go more deep into this story, I know that initially, especially some of you newbies, are gonna look at me thinking, yo, he's a damn dick. This story does put me in kind of like a dick realm. It's gonna sound like I'm like a super mondo penis head at some point, which it kind of was, but it was all mental. Nothing was ever said, and this is just a funny story that I kind of thought about today, and I wanted to share it. And yeah, anyways, let's carry on with the rest of the story, man. And comment down below if anything similar, any other goofy stories ever happened to you in the gym. So as I said, we wasn't really like properly lifting at this point. It's kind of like on and off. So for that reason, I wasn't paying to go to a gym. It was actually like a leisure center that was mainly focused around swimming baths and badminton courts. But what they did was they decided to do this student scheme where, so basically between 7 and 9 p.m. you're allowed to train there for free, mainly just cardio machines, a few like those chest press machines, and like a tiny section of weights. So basically, me and my friends were going there consistently for about a month at this point. Usually it was just us at that 7 to 9 p.m. slot for free, and maybe 1 or 2 girls on the treadmill, but that was basically it. And one day, this dude walks in, and this is where the hater title kind of comes in. And because we were the only ones that ever used this weight area, we were kind of somewhat protective of it. Nowadays, when you go to like a proper gym, like a big gym, like a pure gym, their gym, or even a local gym where there's loads of space, this thought wouldn't even went through my head. So anyway, we're probably about 20 minutes into our workout now. So this dude strolls in, and I was just in my head instantly hoping that he was going to go to the cardio area, because there's just such limited space over here, and I hate when people are too close, especially when you're training. But he just come over to the section, and after about maybe 5-10 minutes of him working out, I remember just sitting there to myself, never said it to my friends, just in my head, just thinking, damn, why doesn't this slim dude just go on the treadmill or something? He's just using that space that we need, you know what I mean? I just want to kind of jam and bust jokes with my friends. And sometimes we say inappropriate like jokes in general. So it's like small banter, you just don't want someone too close near to you. But lo and behold, about 5 or 10 minutes later, he takes off that hoodie. And when I say this is the moment in which I was super humbled and learned about the value of aesthetics versus the perception of when a natty person has clothes on. So with his hoodie and tracksuit on, we would have probably put money on that he was a super skinny dude. When he backed off that, he was wearing a stringer. And bearing in mind, back then, it's like almost a decade ago now, stringers weren't that popular for normal people in the gym. Unless you were like a big dude and went to a real big house gym, no one wore stringers. Like at this time, me and my friends are wearing t-shirts and like just budget tank tops you get from Asda, like 5 in a pack for like £2. That is what we were rocking at this moment. This dude rolls in like a stringer, and he was shredded. And I mean shredded, and he wasn't even bony shredded. He wasn't just like a skinny guy with abs. Like he was actually pretty steak. I would say he looked similar to how I look when I'm somewhat leanish at that point years ago. And that is when we were like, we didn't even have to say anything to each other, because we never mentioned anything about him to each other. But we kind of looked at each other and was like, yo, he's making us look bad out here. And he never deterred us, by the way. This wasn't something that made us intimidate and want to leave the gym. It more just made us like admire, like, see, that is something we never really knew about at that point. We all are used to seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these big hench dudes on screen that regardless what they're wearing, they look hench, and you know they're hench. You know what I mean? This is the perception of what we all saw on TV, especially 10 years ago. They were all huge, and in t-shirts and hoodies and whatever, they still looked huge. So that's kind of what we expect. So when he strolled in looking slim and just taking up valuable space, I'm doing quotes because it wasn't valuable space. It was just us being us as teenagers. Anyway, in the instance of probably 10 seconds, we looked at each other, and I guarantee my friends were thinking the same thing I was thinking, which was, damn, we need to up our rate. This guy strolls in, and we all instantly judge the book by his cover, thinking this dude's probably a cardio person, he's super slim. Bearing in mind, it's probably because I'm gonna put a picture on screen of the sort of physiques we were kind of looking at. Obviously, I didn't look how it looks now, like 10 years ago. This was very doughy me. And the picture I'm going to show you on screen isn't even me at that time. This is me after training a little bit longer, like an extra 3-4 months. So I looked a lot more doughy than this, because I always have had that kind of endomorph, broad, kind of semi-stocky kind of build. So in a t-shirt, I look broad, but I'm not hench by any means. But in that time of me consistently training for a month, I felt like I was somewhat hench. So that's what made it funny. Like, I thought, like, yo, yeah, I lift, yeah, I'm alright. I look pretty good, you know what I mean? This is the early ego stage of lifting, when you see a little bit of progress. And in that moment, he just shatters it all. And when he starts working out and actually gets a pump, where does there like rotted? Every misconception I had about the gym was just shattered. Like, you don't have to look like the jackest in the room. All I kept thinking was, bruh, the reason I got into this gym at this moment, one of the reasons was I went on a holiday and I kind of looked back to the holiday photos and I looked a bit doughy. And also my girlfriend was obsessed with that Twilight dude, which was in shape as well. So I looked kind of doughy. And I was like, damn, see, he looked skinny in his hoodie. But on a beach, he would look perfectly fine and aesthetic. And that is when I got into the realm of thinking, my goal now isn't to look like the biggest in the room at all times. It is simply to improve my current physique to the point where I am happy to just walk on the beach and feel good and confident about myself and in general. And it also taught me as well never to judge anybody else in the gym, even for a second. Because one, you don't know their journey. You don't know what they're even working with, especially if they're working in clothes. But yeah, it was just a funny, humbling story that I hope that some of you hear. Because this all came about because yesterday someone was talking to me about how to deal with haters, and it just brought me back to this time when I was a semi-hater for a split second, thinking, damn, this dude's skinny, and he was the opposite of skinny. He was super in shape, you know what I mean? Without making it sound too different, this video wasn't like a, oh my god, this dude was great and I loved him. It was not that. It was more a case of, this was the moment when aesthetics really drilled itself into my brain. Like, the word aesthetics wasn't really thrown around then either, but it was more a case of, this was the moment where I learned that you don't have to be the biggest in the room, which is what I'm trying to get across this video, hopefully, is that some of you out there are training simply because you want to look the biggest and strongest in the room, which isn't necessarily a bad thing either. You can want to have that goal, but if that is your only goal, it shouldn't be. It should be to more or less improve yourself and have your confidence. Like right now, I train in gyms where I am sometimes the smallest in the gym, because I put myself with like weight gyms occasionally in it. And I'm fine with that, because I'm not trying to be the biggest in the room, I'm not trying to look the biggest. I just don't care. I'm more focused on myself now. And that instance taught me that there's no point comparing yourself to someone else, because just 10 seconds ago, I thought that I was the man. And this guy walks in the room and I'm not the man. And that was a good thing, because it's always good to be humbled, in my opinion, because it lets you know that you ain't the shit. Being humbled at points in your life in regards to various things, whether it's being intelligence or your physique or money, is a great thing, because it keeps you down to earth. A lot of people, when they idolize too much or they feel like there's some type of way, they get egotistical and become a like, we all know some of those gym dudes that are complete dicks, or influencers that are complete dicks and think they're gods. When you are humbled, occasionally it brings you right down to earth and keeps you level-headed. And I've been humbled so many times in this fitness realm. I've been humbled just last year in that video I made. Was it the downside of being in the fitness industry? That time really humbled me and really got me on my game. And every time I've been humbled, I normally come back as a better person. Whether it's mentally, because it's something outside of gym, or in the gym, it kind of reaffirms to me what my goals are and how to get them. But anyways, people, this was a funny video, and I thought the story was quite hilarious that I just got put to shame in a gym within the space of 10 seconds. This video was initially just meant to be that, laughing at myself, but it's almost morphed into a be the best you can be type speech. It wasn't meant to be a motivational speech, but I feel like it's kind of gone to that realm of try be the best you can possibly be. You know what I mean? In all aspects. 1, not judging people. 2, build your physique as good as you can get it. And 3, never judge a book by its cover, because you just never know. You know what I mean? That's the same thing with the ugly ducklings in school. We used to say certain girls are ugly. I can tell you right now, some of the ugliest quote-unquote ugliest girls that I knew in school are some of the sexiest chicks that I've probably seen. These ugly ducklings turn into swans, and this could be you, or you could have been the person that was the guy in school and now you are shit. You just never know how things are going to turn out. So try and be nice to everyone, and just remember, only look at your own games.